That is actually a complicated question because it has changed over the decades, actually over the centuries. So initially, a Métis person was somebody, who had been a result of a mixing of European and Indigenous ancestry here. However, the first generation is not a Métis person. So someone with just mixed heritage isn't necessarily a Métis. A Métis is a reference to a historical coming together of those two nations. And what ended up happening was you had a bunch of offspring, for lack of a better word, who were between two worlds. And what they found was those people were then marrying each other and creating their own communities and societies. And what they were doing was taking parts of both cultures, both understandings and philosophy, and creating something entirely new because of the mixing. So it's a reference to a historical mixing, a time frame that has to do with the Red River and, of course, the Louis Riel resistance. Now, before 2004, the Métis Nation of Alberta, for example, if you were to apply for membership, the first thing you had to do was identify with being Métis and understanding the culture. And that was almost it. That's almost all that you needed to do. But in 2004, there was a federal case called the Powley case, which had to do with Métis hunting and harvesting rights. And that was granted. It was found that Métis people have inherently the same rights to hunt and harvest here on these lands, specifically on our traditional lands. And because of that, the federal government then charged back to the Métis National Council and the provincial Métis nations more legal definition of what is a Métis person, because it was tied intimately with these legal rights. So it becomes more complicated. Now, if you're to apply to get a Métis membership card, you have to have your whole genealogy, and it gets vetted. People will review it, experts will review it, and they will verify whether or not you have standing ancestrally in the Métis community.